All right, we're going to try this again. Hopefully this is recording sound because if I have to record another 150 minutes worth of video, I might lose my mind. So we'll see. Let me know if this is not recording any sound. Although if it's not recording any sound, you obviously did not hear that. So anyways, let's try this again. Video 20, types of muscle. So there are three types of muscle tissue, basically subcategories within the muscle tissue type. They are skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. All these three types of muscle tissue have the four things in common. They are elastic, extensible, excitable, and contractile. Elastic just means that after you stretch it, they will return to their original shape. A great example is like a rubber band. It is elastic, you stretch it, and then it returns back to its original shape. They are extensible, so they are able to stretch in the first place. Excitable, meaning that they can send and carry electrical waves, which is going to be very important for muscular contraction. And contractile means that they have the ability to shorten or to contract. So you see here we're going to be building a Venn diagram of these three. And like I said, all four of these have all three of these have these four things in common. Taking a look at skeletal muscle, this is going to be the muscle you generally think of when you think about muscle tissue, and that is what's attached to your skeleton. Skeletal muscle tissue is striated, meaning that it has stripes. We'll learn exactly why it has those stripes, but when you looked at it under a microscope, you should have saw stripes. Voluntary means that we have conscious control over it. Skeletal muscle does not move unless we tell it to. It is multinucleated, meaning that it has multiple nuclei. And most of this unit is going to be spent taking a look at skeletal muscle as well as the names of skeletal muscles that we have in the body. So you can see here skeletal muscle is the only one that is voluntary and multinucleated. It does share striations, or that striped appearance under a microscope, with cardiac muscle tissue. Smooth muscle is going to be found in many of your digestive organs. They're called your visceral organs, so sometimes you'll see this smooth muscle, also called visceral muscle. It is uninucleate, meaning that it has one nucleus per cell, and it is involuntary, meaning we do not have conscious control. It is going to move without us having to think about it. One example of smooth muscle and its involuntary control is in our small intestine. We'll contract in sort of a wave-like fashion, and we'll actually see it pinch in one part, and then that pinched part will carry itself through the rest of the small intestine. And so it moves in a wave like that, and that's called peristalsis. And that's the smooth muscle contracting on its own. We do not have to think about it. So here we can see smooth muscle is the only type of muscle that is not striated, though it does share its uninucleate and involuntary characteristics with cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle, you may have figured out, is going to be that which is found in your heart. So that's why it's called cardiac muscle. It is involuntarily controlled. You do not need to think. You do not need to think and tell your heart to beat once per second. It is striated, so it does have a very striped appearance. Cardiac muscle has many branches that are going to be connected to one another to other cardiac muscle cells through what's known as intercalated discs. And what these intercalated discs do is they allow electrical pulses to spread very quickly throughout the cardiac muscle to the localized area, and allows the cardiac muscle tissue to contract as a single unit, which is going to become very important when we take a look at our cardiopulmonary unit next semester. Cardiac muscle tissue may have between 1 and 4 nuclei, but generally it's going to be, we're going to call it uninucleate. Most commonly it's going to be 1 or 2 nuclei, but close enough that we're going to call it uninucleate. Cardiac muscle tissue is also very special because it is autorhythmic, meaning your heart will beat on its own. You'll have a steady heartbeat right around 60 to 70 beats per minute based on these cardiac muscle cells and the pacemaker cells that you have in your heart. And so your nervous system, the only role your nervous system then plays is then to alter that heartbeat to make it higher or lower. So there we can see your cardiac muscle tissue. It is branched and has intercalated discs. It's the only one that's going to have those features. And we've already mentioned that it shares striations with skeletal muscle and the uninucleate and involuntary characteristics with smooth muscle. So that is all we have for video 20. Again, please let me know if this one does not have sound or has any sort of issue as well. And hopefully it works and you'll be able to get rolling on the rest of these videos.